Recent discussion over the possible division of Jerusalem as part of an agreement with the Palestinians has prompted Councilman Nir Barkat to mount a public campaign against the division of the Israeli capital. Councilman Barkat joins me now in the studio. Thanks so much for coming in, Nir.
Shalom. You're
a member of Prime Minister Olmert's Kadima party. Is the Olmert-Chaim Ramon plan giving away East Jerusalem neighborhoods driving you out of the party, or is the party resisting that plan?
I think it's driving their plan out of Jerusalem. I think it's a bad plan. I think the right direction is to strengthen the city of Jerusalem. We have to deal with Jerusalem has a huge potential, economic potential. We could keep the young here, and very little is done to strengthen the city of Jerusalem. And rather than building Jerusalem, utilizing its potential, we can have 10 million tourists here a year. And we should scale to that direction. We should do things that will keep the young here. Currently, we're suffering from negative migration, which causes very significant demographic threats on the city of Jerusalem. And if those trends continue, we're going to lose Jerusalem as a Jewish city. Now, rather than cutting losses, rather than giving up pieces, which eventually will become Hamas land inside Jerusalem, the right thing to do is strengthen the city, build its economy, keep the young here, invest in the city of Jerusalem, strengthen it and not divide it. And I'm telling you, if we not focus on strengthening the city of Jerusalem, the trends will continue. And I see people in the finance ministry considering, wait a minute, now if there's a bit of uncertainty, do we continue investing in the city or not?
Nir, you've been taking a very public campaign to the public. What's the response been? Do people agree with you? Do you find any disagreement?
Extremely well. I think over 90 parliament members signed on strengthening Jerusalem and not dividing it. I see people in the streets of Jerusalem very strongly acknowledging and accepting. Everyone realizes the right thing to do is to invest and to bring the private sector and to build tourism and to keep the young. That is the answer. The answer is not to continue with the current trends, it's to change them.
Councilman Barkat, in your view, how do you answer those who say that places like Wadi Joz, Anatot, Sur Bachar, the outskirts of Jerusalem, they're not really Jerusalem, they can be part of a Palestinian place, a Palestinian state if there is one?
Well, it's a big mistake because the Arabs don't differentiate between one neighborhood to the other, number one, and number two, if you strengthen the city as a whole, you should come with a clear plan of investing and building Jerusalem as a whole. To get 10 million tourists here, it's not going to happen if the city is divided. If the city is divided and you have the Arabs controlling parts of Jerusalem the same way
they're already Arab controlled.
They're not controlled, no way.
They're over the Arab population does have control of those sections of Jerusalem.
That's not true. And there are areas that the municipality and the government are not performing what they should do. They're not performing our sovereignty in parts of the city. That has to be corrected. We have Arabs, not only in Jerusalem, we have Arabs all over the country. We should know how to deal with them. We should respect them. We should supply jobs to them. We should treat them as residents. There's no doubt about that. But we should manage Jerusalem as one big united city and not discuss any separation.
Let's go to a different subject, Councilman Barkat. You're a candidate for mayor, and often you attend sporting events in the city, of course. What's your advice to parents who want to send their kids to Malcha Stadium or to Malcha Arena or the stadium, the soccer stadium? Are their kids going to be safe at sporting events in the wake of what happened just this past Sunday?
I think it's clear that there's a degradation in the safety and the government, and all of us have to deal with this issue. I just sent a letter to Minister Dichter just this afternoon recommending to have more significant control, for example, with video cameras, to make sure, have big signs that anybody entering the stadiums will be video cameraed. And if indeed there's going to be violence, they're going to get caught, to decrease the motivation for people to be violent. But there's a lot of education to do. I go to the games, mainly if you advise your kids to be cautious and not to be violent and to move away from violence, they're perfectly fine. We don't have to exaggerate. On the other hand, we have to be much more strict and make sure that the places are safe as ever.
Councilman Nir Barkat, thanks so much for coming into IBA News.
Thank you very much.